What's going on, people, and welcome to a brand new episode of Too Many Games and Not Enough Time, the podcast where I get to speak to incredible people across the globe. I am your host with the most, the one and only Mr. Midas. It feels so good to be back on the post. Feels so good to be posting again and super excited to talk games. And I'm super excited to talk to games with this guy today because you can find him in the stars, whether it be playing Mass Effect or moon buggying around in Starfield. He is one of the 3 Xbox and Me trio, and he is the social video editor for Games Radar and PC Gamer, Paul Despawn. Welcome to Too Many Games and Not Enough Time.
Damn, can I have you just follow me around all day, just introducing me to people? That was amazing.
Of
Hello.
course, I had to give you a big introduction, had to give you a big shout out because we've known each other for a long time. But what's crazy, some inside baseball, as you heard, Paul's Despawn is actually a social video editor over at Games Radar and PC Gamer. So we talk every day now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're editing my face and my words.
I am indeed. That is my day job now, to make you look and sound good.
So
Easy job.
Let's get straight into it. What is happening in the gaming industry right now? The gaming industry has become such a strange place. Now, you have an incredible Xbox podcast alongside MC Fixer and Matt. Shut them both out. And anytime anything's happening in the Xbox world, I am over listening to you lot debate, hearing Fixer get upset, and hearing you lot try to talk him off the cliff. But I feel like the gaming industry is in the weirdest place it's ever been. Like, what's going on?
It's weird, right? It feels like the games are the best they've ever been, yet the industry itself seems to be falling apart a little bit. It's as somebody who loves the creative industries as a whole, it's heartbreaking to see it a little bit, to see all these wonderful people who are making the games that we all love kind of losing their jobs. There's mass delays. We see other good things about things like unionization and all that kind of stuff that's happening in the world right now, which is awesome to see. But yeah, it's like a powder keg, isn't it? It's like what's gonna happen next?
What is gonna happen next is like you can't even expect it. Like when Xbox bought Bethesda, like that was like ZeniMax. It was like, oh my god. Then when they acquired Activision, it was like, how can this happen?
Mm-hmm.
And then people kind of, like you're saying, losing their jobs left, right, and center. But the games itself are incredible, and it's like we're in such a weird state where the industry is trying to evolve further than it's been before. It's like, okay, well, because around the pandemic the industry sold so much money and made so much money, now because they're not doubling down on that money, everyone's in a panic state.
Yeah, it feels like there's the whole thing of we'll talk about capitalism, I'm sure, but it's very much, it feels like it always has to be an increase, and there's no like, all right, maybe see why you can't really hit that increase anymore, because like you say, the pandemic was mass amounts of spending because people were at home playing video games, which again, we'll talk about with my career around the games as well, kind of was a pandemic thing. And it's just like, you can't keep those numbers up. Something's got to give. Unfortunately, at this point, it feels like it's people's careers, which is a shame.
Yeah, that's what's a shame. The thing that's meant to give is the bad thing. Now, Paul, I was going to come on with my helmet, because when we first started speaking, it was all around Mass Effect. And you are a huge Mass Effect fan, as you can see right now. I actually was going to rock my Mass Effect tracksuit for you today, just for this chat, but it was in the dirty wash, and so I didn't want to smell. All day. But I'm new to Mass Effect, as you know, because I first played it when they remastered them all. What is it about this series that's really means so much to you and has taken such a toll in your fandom when it comes to games?
I think for me, it's BioWare weren't the first that did it, but they did it so well. It's the storytelling, and it's the choice as well, is that you can make your own story. There is obviously the argument about the third game's endings and all that kind of stuff that went around, but the lead up to that and how you could decide who you want to be partners with, who you want your team to be, how you want that relationship to go, the kind of person you want to be in that world, and how you will ultimately decide what happens in that world is just, I think it was just BioWare firing on all cylinders that I don't think a lot of studios, about being maybe Larian right now with Baldur's Gate, but I think at the time, like, no one was doing it like BioWare, and the world that they built and the stories that they told and the way that they all interconnected was so well done. That I'm so excited to see them getting back to that kind of stuff now.
So it's so fantastic how they did it between 3 games. But what's super crazy is, obviously, I played them all back to back. And when you play them back to back, you see the change in every single game, like how much it changes. Like, the first one is very, very, like, it is an RPG, and then the second one gets a bit more action heavy. By the time we get to Mass Effect 3, it's Call of Duty.
Yeah. It is very much like they kind of built on, I think it was a kind of a case of the limitations at the time. Maybe they were like, obviously they knew their RPG games, they'd done Dragon Age, so coming from that into the first Mass Effect as well, I think they wanted to kind of stick with that RPG elements, but I think that world was so well built for it being a more action-based game. Obviously, with it being a shooter, using those abilities that you could get, having your teammates use their abilities and kind of squad up. It was just like, I think they went the right route with it, though.
Well, you know what's the most important question? Who is you dating?
Man, that's a good one. I've not played for so long. I'm trying to think. I mean, Garrus.
Garrus, all day, yeah?
Sniper boy. He knows what he's doing.
So obviously Mass Effect Andromeda came out and it was a shambles, and it didn't give the lineage of what Mass Effect is. And obviously BioWare right now, they've got the new Dragon Age Valguard coming out. It's getting super great previews. Everyone's super excited for it. What would you love to see from the next series of Mass Effect?
I think just going back to what they did so well before, like a single player story, no like extra add-ons, bells and whistles kind of things like that. Just give me a story that's about the characters in a world where I can fly a spaceship around, I can visit planets, I can have this really far-reaching story that just kind of grabs me, where it's about building those relationships again, rather than it being about, like having an online multiplayer thing. I don't need that from a BioWare game. Like, that's not what BioWare do. They've tried it didn't work. Give me that single player action RPG that's gonna give me hundreds of hours of replayability.
And games like Baldur's Gate 3 and the Persona series have shown that if you really tap into your audience and the games that they love, you can have something super successful within that. It doesn't have to be Fortnite. It doesn't have to emulate what everyone else is doing, and it can sell super well. Paul, I need you to give me a game from when you was younger that you're super passionate about and means a lot to you.
So, again, I've had this conversation on the Mike's Boss and Me podcast before. Also, I do need to point out there are actually 4 people on the podcast. Shout out to Crash.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Crash. Don't get at me.
We love you.
Apologies.
At him. His name's down below. No, I think for me, I think it's the game that kind of like spearheaded my love of gaming. Weirdly, because I'm old. I'm an 80s kid, and for me, it was the original Tetris. Do you remember like the grey brick of a Game Boy? Yeah. So getting that at Christmas, and with it coming with Tetris, and then it was a case of like me and my mother going backwards and forwards trying to beat each other's scores, and that just kind of like ignited my love of gaming at that young age. I think that's like the first real memory of gaming I have. And I think it was just like, it was so magnificent. Being able to just sit in the back of the car with the little light addition over the top of it, and just playing Tetris for the wee hours, and then obviously getting into things like Pokemon and things like that on there. It's just, yeah, that was a good time, man. It's a good time.
Listen, the Tetris theme never gets boring. Like, I could listen to that for hours, and I don't even, like, I love RPGs and I love my Final Fantasies and stuff, and you're hearing all different music. I can listen to Tetris back to back, that theme. But you know what blew me away? I remember playing Tetris on the old school Game Boy.
Yeah.
Playing it for hours and hours, and then one of my friends across the street, where we used to live, he had the cable. I don't know why I never had the cable.
The link cable,
we put the cable in and we played, and my mind was blown because you become Mario, and so I was my character. It showed me as Mario as my character watching the Tetris, and it showed him as Luigi. I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, the 2-player mode was great. Like the link cable, I think that's it. Like the first time ever, like going into school and finding a mate who's got a Game Boy, and both of you having the link cable and playing against each other. And then obviously, again, we mentioned it, Pokemon, like trading Pokemon with your friends. It's like, those are some of the best memories, man. I love those times.
So you've taken it back. All right. So right now you're rocking a Mega Man t-shirt. Mega Man is like one of a beloved platformer, super beloved platformer. What is your Mega Man go-to game?
So this is where it's quite bad. I didn't buy the t-shirt because I love Mega Man. I bought the t-shirt because I needed a t-shirt. But I do appreciate a good Mega Man game. I think I'm
That's
a weird
hilarious.
One. Yeah, like the OG, obviously, like fighting Cutsman and things like that is just like the best. But Mega Man X, I enjoyed. I think it was good. It's not a series I put a lot of time into, but like any time you jump into a good platformer like that, it's going to be a good one.
All of the Mega Man fans are screaming at the screen
now. Come at me.
They're fully onto you.
I will 100% apologize in the comments, I promise.
All right, let's loop it back. When we was talking at the beginning, and one of the things that you said was we are having some of the best games ever, and being able to experience things that I would never know we'd be able to experience. Like, I was lucky enough to go to E3 before it ended, RIP E3. And I remember being on the floor and playing Spider-Man PS4 for the first time. And I was like, how is this game so good? Like, I remember playing Spider-Man and not even realizing that there was a fast travel, because traversing New York City felt so incredible. So I want you to give me 2 games from the last decade that really blew you away when it comes to experiencing a video game.
I mean, I could give you a very recent one. It would be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That series was not a series I was very familiar with. Like, I dipped my toes into a couple of the earlier ones, but I got access to check out this one early, and it's such a interesting game in that it's like such a fully fledged world and like well-written characters. And I think this comes back to my Mass Effect love. It's like, I just love those well-written characters, and I think they did such a fantastic job. And then building it around Hawaii and having a ton of like different side quests you can go off and do. You can just live in that world. Like, I don't think anything's quite come close to it this year for like an experience in gaming, and it's going to be a hard one to beat this year. Going further back than that, I think we can have the same thoughts to this one, but when you first play the Final Fantasy remake, so the Final Fantasy VII remake, just as a person that grew up on that game, the OG version, and like that was one of the games that like kind of made me think, what could gaming be? And to see it like come to life in full flesh 3D, modern graphics, and then still nail the story and it still be amazing. And yeah, that was an experience that like little childhood me could not imagine being a thing. And then to see it come to life, it's just an amazing experience.
That's dope. All right, let's start with Infinite Wealth, because
cool.
What I'm not the Yakuza guy, but you know I am the like I love myself a JRPG. And I was watching you stream the other day, and you were streaming Starfield, and I was really surprised because I was like, oh, this has got so much story in it. Like, it's got story to the point where, like, I know a lot of people moan about how much stories are in JRPGs. And I remember playing Infinite Wealth, and it was, you see, when I watch anime, I watch it in dub. I don't have time to read. So I was super happy to have English voice acting. But I was just like, what the hell is going on in this world? Like, this world is so wacky and so off the charts than even I'm used to. Like, me being an anime guy, me being a JRPG guy. Like, I never forget, I was doing a side quest and I walked into this building and there were men in nappies. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, so this is what I love so much about that game, is it's very much a case of it goes from absolute insanity to the most heartwarming stories ever. Like, there was a moment where leading into the people in the nappies are running around, you're chasing them around the streets, and then the next thing you do, you know, you're joining up with them to help fulfill a elderly couple's dying wish, and it's just so heartwarming. And I'm like, how is this the same game? And then after that, I'm off playing mahjong and poker, or I'm racing around the streets as a delivery driver on a bike. And it's just like, what? And we won't talk about the fact that you fight a squid at one point and a shark.
Yeah, it's incredible, the creativity that can actually go into that. And it shows that the developers are so confident in what they're making. And this goes back to the Mass Effect Andromeda thing we was talking about. Like, we are so confident in this piece of art that we're making that we can go anywhere we want with it, and it doesn't have to be what everyone else does with the game. Because realistically, if you read that in a pitch, you would be like, are you insane?
Yeah, I mean, just to break it down, it's basically you are a 50-year-old guy who spent most of your life in prison. You're going to go to Hawaii to search for your mother. In the meantime, you're going to take on gang members, cults, and a shark. And also, you'll be able to run around in a nappy and, you know, raise your own little island, like, you know, Animal Crossing. And it's just like, what?
And basically reference yourself like you're a Dragon Quest character.
Yeah. Oh, and in the meantime, become probably the game of the year for me. It's just like, okay, I'm there for it.
It's mad. And come on, you already know Final Fantasy VII for me is my heart. And I never forget, like, we're both lucky enough to work in gaming, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I remember when I didn't work in gaming and gaming was just a passion. And I remember watching E3. We're based in the UK, so E3 for us, for the PlayStation showcase, was staying up to like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and hearing the music. And I was like, oh, they're not, are they? They're not, are they? And then you see Barrett and Cloud walking and losing my mind.
It's like all you see is them two walking away from the camera. The screen goes black, and it just says the word remake. And I'm like, you know what? That's all I needed. That's like, that's all I needed.
I will never forget that E3, and that will always be my favorite E3 ever. But actually playing it, I remember I played the demo. Luckily enough, at the time, I was actually doing some work with Square Enix for a project. By the time it full circle, it was released, and I played the demo 15 times.
Yeah.
15, like at events, at previews. Like, I think I played it like 5 times at EGX, and I remember being at EGX and I kept on messaging the people at Square Enix like, can I come back and play it again? Can I come back and play? And they're like, Midas, how many times are you gonna play this? I'm like, this just feels insane. And for me, I feel like FF7 remake and Rebirth has the best real-time combat in a like JRPG. It just feels just like fluid and incredible.
Yeah, I love the combat in those games. I think the way that they've balanced it between, like you say, a real-time combat, then also letting you pause or slow down time to like make decisions, basically like getting that middle ground between what it used to be and what it now is. I think, yeah, they did such a wonderful job in that. And those characters are probably some of the most iconic characters in, if not in RPG, definitely in gaming. Like in gaming, I think it'd be a hard argument to say that Sephiroth's not the best bad guy ever.
Ah, come on, amazing, and they did the characters so well. They really did them justice. Like, and I remember playing it through the first time, and Aerith was like, I was like, wow, I didn't even think of Aerith being so feisty. Like when she's walking up the ladder and she's bantering with me, and it was just like, it's an experience that I'm so glad that I got to feel, and such an honor to actually be able to work with Square doing some content around that. So you got to do something incredible. You got to quit your job, and now you are full-time working in the gaming industry. Now obviously you've been working as a creator within gaming, being hosting, being a wonderful editor, and doing all of that stuff. So just give me a quick sum up of how you went from the passion of gaming into becoming a gaming content creator, editor, streamer, to now actually having a job within a journalistic brand. Sum that up for me in a nice little egg for me, Paul. A nice
just in 10 words or less, yeah? Okay. I might need more than 10 words, but I'll give it a go. So yeah, it was, like I said at the beginning, I was very much like a gamer since my childhood. It's something that has been my passion, among other things, for as long as I can remember. When lockdown hit for a lot of people, I turned to the internet for, like, you know, being able to speak to people and hang out with people, and that obviously led to things like Twitch, where then I kind of migrated from watching to creating, and from there I then obviously started my own YouTube channel, started my own Twitch channel, eventually joined the My Xbox and Me team after being part of their community for a while, and then from there, obviously, that knowledge I took from making content myself, I then put it into a freelance capacity where I make videos for other people, pay me money. And then obviously the opportunity came up where I applied for this job and was lucky enough to get it. And now, as you said, I am now the social editor for PC Gamer and Games Radar, among other things. And it is a lifelong dream come true to be working in the industry, and working with amazing teams as well. And you as well, I guess you're there too. But no, it is an absolute wild experience to think that the kid who was sat at the kitchen table playing the Game Boy is now working on some of the publications that he read as a kid. It's insane.
It's insane, and it's fantastic, and your work ethic and your work kind of speaks for itself. Like, you're an incredible editor, you're super insightful, you are super passionate. That's one of the things that I love and kind of has always kind of drawn me to what you do, is the passion behind what you speak about, how much you love it. And you can tell that you're a gamer through and through, and not a gamer because, oh, it's cool to be a gamer, or not you go over there, only the cool kids over here. It's just something that you're super passionate about and something that you love. And it's been dope jumping into your streams and watching you, and I've been watching your YouTube stuff for years, and like, I commend what you lot do. I love anytime, like I said, anytime I need Xbox news, I come to you lot before I even go to IGN for Xbox news. You're the first place I come to, and hearing you lot kind of battle it out, and Fixer loses rag, and it's really commendable, everything. Paul, we're running out of time. We're only a short form podcast. The time goes so quick. If people want to come support you, they want to come and watch your streams, check out the YouTube, hear the whole gang arguing on Xbox and me, where can they come and support your journey?
They can find me everywhere at Paul Despawn, literally Instagram, you'll see pictures of my cats. Twitter, you'll see me arguing with people. And then, yeah, obviously check out PC Gamer and Games Radar's feeds for all the cool videos that we're doing over there. And obviously, if you want to see some Xbox news or beyond, we also do other stuff. But my Xbox and me, all four of us will be arguing on a regular basis about everything at Xbox and beyond.
All right, and you need to let me know in a comment below, what is that old school gaming memory that speaks to you? Come on, me and Paul, we are old. We're talking Game Boys. You might be like, what are you talking about? My first console was a PS1, or you might even be younger than that and be like, my first console was a PS3. Listen, if your first console was a PS5, you shouldn't be here. You should be at school. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Yeah, go do your homework. Let us know, and we'll continue the conversation below. I've been Mr. Midas. He's been Paul Despawn. You've been amazing. We out of here. Peace.